Welcome to Bullseye CO2 Review. Today we're going to be checking out the Smith and Wesson M&P 45 by Umarex. Looks like a really nice pistol, feels like a nice pistol. Looking forward to shooting this one. The specifications on it: it has a double or single action trigger. Caliber is .177. The ammo is steel BBs or pellets. The sights are fixed front and rear. The safety is manual. The barrel is rifled. The barrel length is 3.4 inches. Dangerous area up to 300 yards. Capacity is 8 rounds. The power source is a 12 gram CO2 capsule. And the velocity is 370 feet per second. Comes with the instruction manual, airgun safety rules, the warranty papers. Also has one in here that's kind of important. It shows what kind of pellets you can use. It says do not get pointed pellets. You want to have either domed pellets or wad cutter type pellets. So what I purchased for this was the Crosman Destroyers. It's a little bit concave on the front. It has a point, but it's recessed. So we'll try these out and see how they work. They should work, because I don't think that point is going to be past the distance that a domed pellet would be. I think it will be about the same. So we'll find that out. Like I said, it feels like a really nice pistol. In your hand, it feels like the M&P 45. It's got some nice weight to it. It doesn't say how much it weighs, so we're gonna weigh it. Comes with 2 rotary magazines. One is plastic and one is metal. The plastic one is for the steel BBs and the metal one is for the pellets. If you look on the back here, you can see a little gear, and that's what rotates the magazine in the pistol. So when you put it the magazine, you want the gear to be facing towards the rear. And it's on both magazines. They say to load these magazines, the BB magazine you want to load from the front, and the pellet magazine you want to load from the rear. We'll do a little demo on that. But yeah, feels really nice. The sights on it are really nice. Yellow in front and rear. These should be real easy to see. When you put the rear sight up to the front sight, it's got a small gap in the back, so this sight fits in this sight really well, so you don't have a lot of room to move around with it. It says front and rear sight is fixed, but this rear sight has a set screw on it, and it looks like you can adjust the windage. Looks like it'll slide back and forth in the pistol. So if we're shooting left or right, we should be able to adjust the sights for that. So if we're shooting to the left, you want to push the sight over to the right. If you're shooting to the right, you push the sight over to the left. So we'll have some adjustment on that if we need it. Like I said, it feels a little heavier than most of the entry-level BB pistols do. And this one's kind of a little above entry level, but it feels really stocky in your hand. Let's see, we'll put it on ounces. Most of them, the plastic pistols, are weighing in around 1 pound, maybe a little less. Yeah, see, this is almost 22 ounces. So 16 ounces in a pound, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, almost 1.5 pounds. A little over, about 1 1/3 pounds it weighs, I guess. Almost 1.5 pounds. But yeah, feels really nice in your hand. It's got some pretty cool features on it. This button here is not really the magazine drop, it's just for looks. So is this breakdown lever, so the slide doesn't come off with that. So this side here is the safety. With the safety, you push it forward, push it up, you'll see the red dot, and that means it's in fire position. Push it forward and down, and then it's in the safe position. The other switch that operates is this one here. This switch is metal, the switch is metal, and the trigger is metal. The rest of the exterior of the gun is plastic. If you push this one down, it opens up the slide so you can drop your magazine in there. Like I say, you put your gear toward the back, drop it inside like that, and then you're ready to fire. So we're going to load a couple of BBs up and a couple of pellets up too. Let's take a look at that. Another cool feature it's got, right now it's in double action. There's no CO2, no BBs. See, so you can see how long the trigger pull is. And it's quite heavy. It feels probably about 8 pounds. But if you want to go to single action, you pull this back of the slide back and it pulls the trigger back. Now you got like half the travel, and there you go. Really nice in single action. Really nice. And it only feels like maybe about a 3-pound pull for that single action. So I think that's pretty cool. We'll try it out in both ways, in single and double action. It's got a rail on the front if you want to put a laser on there or a flashlight. To open up the handle to put the CO2 in, you push this forward and then the rear pops up, and then you can see inside. You can drop your CO2 cartridge right down inside there, and then it's got a plastic flapper in here. You wind that in until you feel some tension on it, and then about another half a turn, and that'll push that cartridge up into the pistol. Before you put your cartridge in, they recommend that you put a little bit of pellet gun oil on the top of the cartridge, because what that does is it keeps the there we go. Keeps the inside of the pistol. There's a little air valve in there. It keeps that oiled up. And also, if you put a little pellet gun oil on the top of this here, just you need a drop is all you need. When it pushes up into the seal, that'll lubricate the seal and keep it from binding up or tearing. So it'll help the seal last a lot longer where you put this into the pistol. To close this up, you want to watch your fingers. I pinched my pinky down here with this setup. So you want to make sure you got your finger out of the way when this comes forward. You push it forward and went about that far, and then squeeze the handle and it snaps that shut. And when it snaps that shut, if you got your finger in there, it smarts. I can tell you that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to shooting this pistol. Take a couple of BBs. Oops, pop the top here. Take a couple of BBs and show you how to load up the front magazine. When you push these into there, you put the gear on the BB magazine, that goes facing down. So then you just take and push the BBs in through the front, and that secures them into the magazine. And you want to make sure that you got them pushed in so they're flush across the front. If you put the BB in from the back side, it drops in, but it has to push it all the way through the magazine that far. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out if you push them in from the front or from the back. So anyway, you can see the difference if you push them in from the front and the rear. That one sits way back in there. So I think they want you to have them near the front so it doesn't have as much friction for the BB to pop out of the magazine. For pushing the pellets into the rear of this magazine, where they see the gears in the back. So you want to take these pellets and drop them in from the rear. So you put them in the pointed end first, so that the hollow side is into the back side. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Just kind of push them in, get them flush with the rear there. I found if you try pushing it in with your fingernail, these BBs are soft and you can put a crease in there. So I'm not sure if that's going to affect the way they pop out either, if you distort the pellet a little bit. But you just push them in and they come out, you know, they go in pretty easy. And then that way you don't have the pellet protruding out the front. You can see these pellets, the destroyers, they're set back in there a little ways, so I think that's going to be just fine for these. Oops, for the pellets. So then once you get your magazine loaded up, like I said, you just push down on this lever, it opens up the top of the pistol, and you can take your magazine, drop it inside there. When you lock it in, it's ready to rotate. And that's about all there is to it. Feels good, looks good. Let's take it out in the backyard and see how she does. Okay, I got a fresh CO2 cartridge in there, and I have the magazine with the 8 BBs loaded up first. I'm going to give it a couple shots from about 3 yards away and see how accurate the sights are, so I can tell where the BB's going. Got my safety glasses on. I'm going to do it in double action at first. Safety off. Kind of all over the place with the BBs. It's a little windy out. Let me try it from 10 yards away and we'll see what we got. Okay, safety on. Yeah, it looks like it's shooting off to the left a little bit. Yeah, we'll have to see if we can't do something with the sights. The rear sight's adjustable for windage. So let me do an adjustment on it and let's try it again. Okay, I pushed the sight a little bit over to the right on the rear sight. I was able to adjust the windage, which is kind of a fancy name for left and right. So if you're shooting left, you need to push the sight over to the right a little. So let's see how that works out. I got another round of BBs. I'm going to shoot it from close, 10 feet, see how it works. I'm going to try it on single action. Safety glasses on, safety off. It's right over the bullseye now. Let me move back to 30 feet, 10 yards, and see how the rest of them go. Try the first one on single action again. Wow, nice. Double action. Better, definitely better. It's probably me jiggling up and down, and it's a little breezy out today, which may cause for it going up and down. I would think with a rifled barrel, this thing would be pretty consistently straight. But you know, we got pretty good gap between the top and the bottom, but it's definitely centered in the target now. All right, let me load up some pellets and see what that does. Okay, I got the magazine with the pellets loaded in the pistol, and I'm looking forward to some pretty accurate shooting with pellets and a rifled barrel. First shot I'm going to do single action, and I'm going to do it from 10 feet. Let's see what happens. Safety glasses on, safety off, single action. Nice. Okay, I'm going to move back to 30 feet and do the first shot single action, see how it goes. Now it's double action. Wow, that tightened them up quite a bit, didn't it? Just shooting pellets. Not too bad. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. Dang near knocked the bullseye out of the target. Yeah, it definitely makes a difference shooting pellets. And also seems to make a difference if you do single action. That double action trigger has a lot of pull to it. It can cause you to pull your shots, you know, as you're shooting. Yeah, because pretty happy with that. Here's what it looks like when you're firing it. This is, I got it in single action right now. And you can see the trigger came out. This is double action. It's a lot bigger trigger pull when you got it on double action for sure. All right, let's wrap up the review for the Smith and Wesson M&P 45 by Umarex. I like it. I like the gun. It really feels nice in your hand. It feels like you're holding a 45. I played around with it a little more after I shot the backyard videos for the channel here, and I did improve my target groups drastically by using the single stage trigger. That two-stage trigger is such a long pull, it was getting me, my shots were pulling up and down because you have to squeeze it for such a long distance. You're anticipating for it to let it go, and I was staying on center pretty much, but I was going up and down with it. When I put it on single stage trigger, I didn't have that problem. I was getting a lot better shot groups, even with the BBs. Another thing I forgot to mention, the safety on this gun, when the safety's on, the trigger's inactive. That's a nice feature to have. When the safety's not on, as soon as you touch the trigger, you can feel pressure on the trigger. So if you pick up your pistol, you got BBs and CO2 in it, as soon as you touch the trigger, you'll know, oh, darn, this trigger, the safety's not on. Put the safety on until you're ready to fire. You always want to treat it like it's loaded, even if it's not. So having the trigger that's inactive is really nice to have. The other nice feature is this adjustable rear sight. I don't know why more CO2 pistols don't have it. It's just a plastic sight mounted in a dovetail with a little set screw. You loosen up the set screw and you can fine tune your windage on the pistol so you can get in there. Because originally we were shooting off to the left pretty good. I pushed that over just a tad bit on the pistol, put me right on center. Having the single stage trigger is much nicer of a pull. So you can shoot double stage, trying to kill them off pretty quick, but you'll tend to go up and down with the pistol. So this thing being a target pistol, because it's a barrel is rifled and you can shoot pellets, that's the idea of it, and it's only an 8-round magazine. So if you pull it back and cock it every time and use the single pull, you'll get some pretty tight groups on it. These targets, to give you an idea, this bullseye is only 3/4 of an inch, and this inner circle is smaller than 3 inches. It's 2 3/4, and we had all our pellets in this circle, so that's less than 3-inch shot group. I think we had one or up here, one down, something like that, but pretty much all in a 3-inch shot group from 30 feet, which is not too bad. Even with the BBs, they seem to be on center, but they were, you know, a little bit outside of the circle. So if you're shooting at a soda can or something like that, every one of those BBs are going to hit the soda can. It seems like it's really well made. It's fun to shoot, and it's got some pretty cool features. You know, I like the rotating magazine. It's too bad it can't be more like 12 or 14 rounds. But it's pretty cool the way it works. You just drop it in there and then it automatically lines up with that gear, and it feeds them the BBs and the pellets flawlessly. I never had any problems with anything misfiring. So I got this from Airgun Depot, and it was on sale for $60. So it's, I think, normally $79 or something like that. So it's a little outside a starter pistol price, but if you've already had a couple beginner CO2 pistols, this is a nice step up, especially since it shoots the pellets. Yeah, I recommend it. If you're looking for something that's a little different than the rest and it's pretty good replica gun. I'd recommend the Umarex Smith and Wesson 45. So if you like the video and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe and click on that little bell so you'll be notified when the next videos come out. If you want to leave a comment or a question, I answer all the comments and questions, so feel free to leave a comment or a question in the section down below. And thanks again for watching Bullseye CO2 Review.